Listen, all of you. As you've clearly heard.
Glynel, I assure you it's an ancient codex, just like in the tales.
Intriguing. And why would such a thing be revealed to a child of dust?
And here I was beginning to think that you'd never show up. This is Glynel, lore master of the House of Ballads. Give the codex over to him, and he may have your answers. I'm a woman of many talents, and we're all taught that we must use our talents for the greatest good, right? The Codex of Fate is no simple lore stone. It's more subtle and complex than any mortal could comprehend. But a lore master of ballads may be able to interpret it. We are the charmed, the subtle, and the inspired. In happier days, we were the loftiest of the mortal races. We despise open war. But for decades, the Tuatha have been at war with us, pushing into our lands and forcing us to take up arms. For a long time, they were content to keep to their play of the summer and winter courts. Now we fight Gadflow and the Tuatha for our very existence. Lore Master Glynel has devoted centuries to the study of lore and ancient Fae stories. The codex he found isn't just any lore stone. Just talk to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to shed some light on the issue. Be on your way.
You must be Lady Shear's friend. She speaks very highly of you. An occasion rare enough to be worth recording in its own right. But let's see this codex. Oh, nothing. This is no mere lore stone, you know. The Codex of Destiny is distilled knowledge from the High King of the Fae, given to the first Fateweavers. To have such knowledge in your hands is a tremendous gift. But why did it reveal itself to you? Surely you have a part to play in some great tale. Perhaps you'll act as the chosen pawn, or even the wisest fool. Few children of dust have ever had such an honor. Now, I can only make out some parts, but this is odd. The Codex speaks of an exception, a void, an end to the endless. This is simply too much. The High King would never pawn such absurdity off as wisdom. I'm sure you think it is. I fear you must have been taken in by a forgery. A perfectly created one, perhaps, but a forgery nonetheless. But this codex speaks of impossible things, changes to fate, death of the immortals, and other heresies. To ascribe these lies to the High King would be... I'm sorry, but I must ask you to take it away. I will have no part in these lies. All of us in the western Faelands are subjects of High King Tuatha Deohn. Our presence maintains the natural balance, bringing the green of spring at winter's end. We are the story that is told in every age, with different words, but the same meanings. We are the blazing summer and the brooding winter, forever following one another. We are, as we have always been and shall ever be, no more and no less. He is an offense to our people. He upsets the natural order, and his war breaks the cycle. I will speak no more of him. As antiquarian, I'm keenly aware of the lesser ballads in Fae telling, and do my best to ensure that they're not lost in the wide river of time. I'm keeper of the Echo Stone here in the House of Ballads. It has only come to us recently, but I find its purpose most fascinating. Every creature has its story. The wake it leaves behind in its travel, that is a telling. It is a narrative of defeats and victories that give every life meaning. Our Fae telling goes on from creation deep into the hidden end. Until then, we celebrate the small songs, the ones that celebrate the spring in which we find ourselves. For you, tales are naught but a reminder of your inevitable decline. But for the Fae, Our tales are eternal reminders of our truest selves. Here we celebrate the very heart of our kind. The greatest of our tales, reborn and relived. His wisdom is above us all, even the lords and ladies of the House of Ballads. The High King guides us in all the grand telling of the Fae. It is a new relic crafted by several of our most attuned Fae mages. Usually the notion of new repels me, but in this case, I can't help but feel a spark of curiosity. The Echo Stone can be used like a lore stone to experience past narratives, stories that have long since left the lips of their tellers. However, one can only use the Echo Stone if he has the right matching cairn, a magical key devised by Hallam the White himself. The role of the storyteller is the most important to the Fae in the Court of Summer. He watches the telling as it unfolds. His gaze is not on one ballad, but all of them. Is there a meaning to it? Only its author can tell you. Do not bother me with such foolishness again.
Lionel spends his life cherishing old stories, but show him something truly new, and he dismisses it. Tragic. No, I bet my blades that it's real. Lionel may be a very learned scholar, but it's been ages since he had to learn anything new. Most Fae don't take well to new ideas. If this old fool thinks the High King would never have written the Codex, then it's all the more important that the High King see it. It will be difficult. His court is in the city of Issa. Very few mortals are permitted in its gardens. I do know one individual who can grant you permission to enter, but you'll have to meet him alone. Nyralim is a private person, and he carries a grudge against me. Although perhaps person isn't the right word for him, nor is him. You'll find him in southeast Dalantoth at Caer Nyralim. Just head towards the giant tree, and, well, you'll see. That codex isn't just a complicated lore stone. It seems to tell a tale most Fae don't want to hear, and created by High King Tatarian himself, no less. Interesting. You'll have to meet him on your own. I'd accompany you, but Nyralim and I have our disagreements. Good luck with Nyralim, and ignore anything he says about me.
Excuse me.
Story of two valiant souls I bring. Of the lords named Ermer and Creth I sing. Two hearts united against common foes. The thoughts in mind of one the other knows. Lord Creth of Fae Knights most stoic and grave, Lord Airmer's Night Hand and Shadow, the brave, and genteel Airmer, his equal in might, the dawn to Creth's dusk, the day to his night. Here's the tale of how they stopped a troll. The Maid of Windermere misled its soul.
While the Shaper brushed the plains with hills and wheat, and the Carver moulded the deserts with a careful, measured hand, the third of the Majestics stood from the earthen cradle and beheld the glories of their work. He was the architect and carried in his mind a dream, the form of growth, a design shaped in nature, a place to drive abundance in harmony.
Another mortal, but not like the others. You may well...
She sought to bring the light of truth, to save a village plagued, to find a cure for them, her quest, the Maid of Windermere, her test.
Come closer, little curiosity.
Enraged, she trembled with her wrath. Undo your evil magic now, or I will end this tale, I vow.
The Curious One seeks a way to the Fae, but it has found its way to the boughs of the World Tree instead. Rest, Quickling, and I may study you. Look around you, and I am all that you can see. My roots spread across Dalantarth. My leaves read the winds from Frostbrine Coast to Alabastra. My family and I circle this world. We were saplings when your kind emerged from the dark, and we will grow with you until this world burns once again. My roots spread wide and deep, and I have heard what brought you here, but I cannot see where you go hence. The time of the Fae is passing. I must shelter them in their twilight, and protect them from the Prismere corruption that spreads in their kin. The gardens of fate are clear to me, and all that ever shall be are visible in its blooms. Issa's end has always been certain. Buried beneath Prismere blades, I can only hold back the tide. But you, perhaps you can change the currents. Where you tread, you mark all you touch. Before I would help you, I must know. Will you be a kind gardener, or a careless reaper? Yes, but will it be for the better? I cannot stop you from trying, but perhaps I can guide your efforts. A tribe of trolls has been corrupted with Prismere. Their matriarch, Nash, has united the clans in the first step on the path of Dalentarth's demise. You can change this fate, but to what? In doing so, you may awaken a more dangerous threat, like your ally, Aelin Shear. She walks a dark and tangled path. A path you once walked together, before you died. But your path is your own now. Defeat Nash, remove the taint of Prismere. Then I shall see who you are, if not who you will become. Aelin Shear is a mystery and a simplicity. She is focused in a way few Quicklings are. Her dedication is true, but I do not know the cause. Together you have walked dark paths beneath my boughs. You knew one another before your death, or thought you knew each other. Like the sun in the sky, they knew me when I was a sapling, and they will know me when I rot. But they will never know change, nor how to save themselves from their patterns. Only one Fae has ever truly changed, and he now leads an army to destroy your kind. The fates of Quicklings are very simple. Growing, consuming, expanding, dying, and always rushing predictably along your paths. You are unique among them. You decide your own direction. But does that mean you will choose anything different? The Troll Matriarch. Prismere has corrupted her, making her cruel, cunning, and far more ambitious than her brethren. She bears the marks of the Tuatha, and she shares their murderous intent. The Troll Matriarch and her brood await at Haxi. Their corruption burns my roots and threatens our future.